Hi, I'm Jackie from Multnomah County Library School Corps with Novelties 2022. And in this video, I'm going to cover books that are ghostly tales. If you'd like to find the books and websites I mentioned in this presentation, the links are included in the description below. Temple Alley Summer by Sachiko Kashiwaba, grades 4 through 6. One summer night in Japan, Kazu wakes up and needs to go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, he'd watched too many scary movies the night before and is scared to go downstairs to the bathroom in the dark. He gets up and, looking out his second-story window, he sees a strange girl in a white kimono sneaking out the door of his house downstairs. Who is she, and how did she get into his house? The next day at school, Kazu sees that very same girl in his classroom. Her name is Akari, and his friends can't believe it when he asks about her. They say she's been in their class ever since preschool, and she lives right around the corner from Kazu. Why doesn't he remember her? In school, the class is studying the history of their neighborhood, and Kazu learns that his house is on the site of an old temple called Kimyo Temple. The Japanese characters for Kimyo are written like the words for return and dead. Does that mean that Akari has returned from the dead? And if so, will more people be brought back to life in Kazu's house? Here are some possible discussion questions for this book. Cultural differences. This book takes place in Japan. In what ways was Kazu's life similar to or different from yours? Were there elements of Japanese culture that were unfamiliar to you? The story within a story. Akari's favorite story from a magazine plays an important role in this book. Did you enjoy reading the story within a story? Why or why not? Mrs. Minakami. Describe Kazu's relationship with Mrs. Minakami. How does his opinion of her change over the course of the book? I've also linked to a few related websites. I've included a read aloud where the author and translator are both reading from the book in English and Japanese. I also included some information about Japanese household shrines and altars, like the one in Kazu's house that plays a very important role in the story. And I also included some more information about the daily life of kids in Japan. Aviva versus the Divk by Mari Lowe, grades 4 through 7. Aviva's life changed dramatically after her father died. She lost her best friend, and her mom was so sad that some days she couldn't even get out of bed. They had to move from their old home to a tiny apartment above the mikveh, a traditional bathhouse for Orthodox Jewish women. Aviva's mother manages the mikveh and takes care of the women who come to bathe there. But something else lives in the mikveh too, a Divk. In Jewish folklore, a Divk is a ghost that has unfinished business in our world. Aviva doesn't know what unfinished business their Divk has, but he keeps her busy, knocking over furniture, trying to flood the bathroom, and tearing up her mother's paychecks. When the mikveh and their Jewish temple are vandalized, Aviva has to wonder, is this the work of the Divk or the work of humans? The List of Unspeakable Fears by J. Casper Kramer, grades 4 through 7. Essie is afraid of almost everything. She keeps a list of her fears, things like electric lights, polar bears, fire, rats, unlaced shoes, talkative strangers, candles that flicker, fog, and diseases like smallpox and tuberculosis. In New York City in 1910, some of these fears make sense. Rats are common, electric lights are still quite new, and Essie's own father died of tuberculosis. She soon finds out that she has much more to fear, though. Her mother remarries and they move to North Brother Island, where her stepfather runs a quarantine hospital for people who are very sick. Essie worries about her mom getting sick, and then she hears that several nurses have gone missing from the island. Could her stepfather be involved? One night, Essie sees child-sized footprints coming out of the river and heading toward her stepfather's house. That reminds her that she saw a girl in a dripping wet dress the day before. Did she come from the river? One night, Essie wakes up from a nightmare and hears a whistling sound and footsteps outside her bedroom door. Then she hears a bell ringing in the hallway. When she opens the door, she can see the bell ringing in the air, all by itself, with no hand attached to it. Clearly, Essie is being haunted, but by who? And what is the ghost trying to tell her? Down below the video, you'll find a link to the full list of titles from this year's Novelties videos, a link where you can watch our other School Corps presentations, and a link to book discussion tips from Multnomah County Library. Finally, you can also find out more about School Corps by following the link below. Thanks for watching.